would think. No, maybe, no, no. That kind of looks legit, right? I don't know why I bought this damn thing. Bonjour, hussy cats. My name is Asia, like the continent, and today I'm going to share with you my tips for traveling solo to France. I don't even know if these tips are specifically for solo travel. A lot of it's kind of general tips. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the title, but I gotta make it like clickbaity, right? Like solo travel, don't get kidnapped. But I do have tips for that, so let's just back up the train a little bit. If you are new to my channel, I mostly talk about wine. Sometimes I cook. I don't know what content's actually on this channel, but it's primarily wine if you look back the last 5 videos. But I have been MIA, and it really truly was this time. For those of you that have already been a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and what do they say, smash the bell. I don't know what the hell. Do stuff down here, do that, and then we can hang out in the future. But I really have been busy, not just because I went to France, but the reason why I went to France was because I was attending Fêtes Galantes, which was physically at Chateau de Versailles in Versailles, France, and it's a costume ball. If you didn't know, I am into historical costume design or making, and yeah, I told you that before. I've told you guys that? I don't know if I told you guys that, but that's what I do for funsies. Anyways, Versailles is like bucket list. People say bury me at Bergdorf's or spread my ashes at Bergdorf's. No, smuggle my remains into Versailles and get me in there. Like, that place has always resonated with me. I've, so to go there and for a costume ball, historical costume ball in my favorite century, which is the 18th century, yeah, I was there. So yeah, I've been kind of MIA in terms of making a YouTube video because I needed to spend my free time actually making my costume. And when you make historical costumes, I did it by hand. You have to deal with the patterns and fabrication and whatnot, and ordering your fabric, and you need tons of fabric. Luckily, I'm a petite person, so I only need about 7 yards of fabric, but it's a lot of fabric, and you just can't you can't half-ass it. And so, as you may or may not know, I've complained in the past about having a commoner job, so the weekends is when I didn't have to work, so that's usually when I make these YouTube videos. So I was busy making this very intricate gown. I'm sitting off skew because I'm in a different setup too. For those of you that have been subscribers and rocking with me from however spotty it's been over the years. Different setup, sound, I know I'm echoing. All this is trial and error, so don't get in my comments in the bottom, you're echoing and I can't hear you and you're lighting shitty. Look, Patricia, okay? I'm doing the best that I can, okay? But anyway, I've just been really busy with that, so that's where I've been, and I went to France specifically for that. And my entire trip, I don't remember how many days, I was only there for a popcorn stop, but I was in Paris for the first half, and then I went from my Paris hotel to my Versailles hotel and spent the remainder there for the ball, and then I flew back home. So I have my tips here on my iPad, and we're just gonna go right into it. I will try to, I don't know how to open this damn iPad. I think this is the finger. I'm gonna try to timestamp this so you can skip ahead. So I do have my notes here, and so I can stay on track, because if you're new here, I do ramble on if you haven't noticed. How long have I been talking for? 20 minutes? Yeah, see? So this is why we have the iPad. All right, let me give a disclaimer. You know how the YouTubers are and I don't want to offend anyone, and blah, blah, blah. This video is for people that are on a budget, don't have endless income, solo travel if you are a single young lady, or I guess young man, but if you're a single young person, younger than me, you probably don't have a whole lot of funds. I know the money is a big reason why people don't travel. Also, let me back up, because I know if you've been following me, you know that I'm oh my God, the COVID is outside. But because France opened up their borders, and Fetz said they had canceled previous years since the pandemic. They said, no, we're having it 2022. And I said, bet. And I was up in the middle of the night as soon as they released, you know, the ticket sale, like ordering my ticket. So, COVID be damned, but I am like quadruple vax. I'm not quadruple vax. I have all my vaccines. I don't know how many we've had so far, but I have all that, and I was just like, it is what it is, via con Dios. And so I will get into that a little bit more, but this video is really geared towards people that they ain't rich. Everybody's not on Instagram, you know, in Bali on the swing. And there's videos for that. I'm pretty sure there's cheap ways to go to Bali. I'm sure it's like an arm or leg and your firstborn child to fly to Bali from the United States, because you're gonna be on a plane for like 3 days. Yeah, I'm really kind of gearing it towards that. But with that being said, I wasn't on a super budget. It was just more or less because it was like a lot of stuff going on financially for me. Nothing dire, but I quit my commoner job. So I wasn't able to just ball out, and I just went for the costume ball. That was the primary purpose, right? So that gives you an idea, all right? So let's jump into my first tip. Research your hotels. Whatever hotel you decide to stay in France, just research it. I mean, look at the reviews on Yelp, look at the reviews on TripAdvisor, look at, you know, their Instagram, their Facebook, maybe go on Facebook groups. I will talk about Facebook in a second, but I'm not personally on Facebook very often in my normal social media consumption. So, you know, but get on the internet and find out and get multiple sources to see how potential hotels are before you book with them, because you might get there and be in the wrong arrondissement, which is like a neighborhood, and you don't want to do that. Now, my Paris hotel was in the 7th arrondissement, which is the same arrondissement as the Eiffel Tower. I am very open to leaving or DMing you where I stayed. It's not like a secret. The thing is, I feel like I got a really good deal, and I don't want to tell everybody on the internet, because this is going to go viral, and I don't want everybody staying there, because I'm going back the next time. I need that price to stay like cute, okay? But if you do want to know, and I'm still kind of sketched out, because I do plan on staying in the future. What if you're just waiting for me like 5 years from now, like waiting to jug me? Like, so I don't know. Maybe I'll end up saying it. Also, I don't have the name of the hotel in front of me, so there's that. Maybe I will just pop it in here. It's not like a secret. I didn't write it down. Yeah, I can't even tell you what the hell. I would have to give you very specifically the name of the hotel, because there's it's part of a chain, and then there's like a baby chain. Message me and I'll let you know. It can be down here in the comments. It doesn't have to be like super secret. All right. But research the hell out of your hotel, because I don't want you in the wrong arrondissement or somewhere they got roaches. And I don't know, you know, I don't do roaches, period, but I'm definitely not doing no French roaches. They might fight you. I just, you know, I'm not really about that life. So yeah, research that. I believe in booking direct. That's my next tip. And this is from not even traveling abroad. I've traveled a lot before, I guess, before the pandemic and whatnot. So this is like the first time I'm kind of doing actual travel since the pandemic. But you book through booking.com, and I probably shouldn't say this because I ain't gonna never get no endorsement through them, but honestly, you book through all these little booking sites, and you can get to your hotel, baby, and they'll be like, who? I don't know you. We don't know you, her, they, she, what site you booked through, and you will be asked out. And you do not need to be asked out in another country, especially when you don't speak the language, okay? Because some people didn't do their lessons and show up for their tutoring like they should have, okay? Like me. So don't do that. Book direct, because it's like, nah, B, this is the confirmation. It's right here. You know what I mean? So that's me. I know a lot of people try to do it to save a buck, but I just don't. I don't believe in that. You save a buck and be asked out, and then you end up spending more money than you needed to. That's my philosophy. Same thing with the flight. Book that direct. There's what do you call it? Skyscanner, and I downloaded it. I think because I was going to go to France for something else before the pandemic hit, and I had it by her recommendation, and it really kind of just gives you the what am I trying to say? The deals at these third-party sites like a booking.com or a Kayak, what they have. So it's cool. I'm not knocking it completely, but that's my tip. Don't do that. You're gonna be asked out, calling your mama, just send you some money through Western Union. And I don't even know if they have that there. I don't know how you get money when you're out in the world like that. I just don't play around like that. Speaking of not playing around like that, get traveler's insurance. That's my next tip. Oh my gosh. So because I was so busy making my actual gown, and when I say I made my gown, I did everything. Like, the only thing I wore that night that I didn't make, like I didn't make the actual wig, but I had to zhuzh it up. I did make my panties, like my actual panties that went on my haunches, my shoes, and everything else I wore stays, my pannier, like everything I made. So I didn't really, a lot of stuff I kind of put off and, that wasn't pressing. And one of those things was getting my traveler's insurance, and I waited too close to the trip to get insurance for the actual trip to cover cancellations or anything like that. But I did get the medical insurance. So yeah, I highly recommend you, make sure you get, I also effed around and didn't get my TSA or Clear, what's the other one called? I can't think of it. I'll put it here somewhere, but I waited too long to get that. I didn't have that because I hadn't been traveling. So nobody was renewed. I had to stand in line like a commoner, especially coming back. Whew, I'm telling you, when I came back to America, it was ghetto, but we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, just make sure you get that, have enough time so you can have your trip covered for the most part. And I guess because of the pandemic, the airlines and whatnot will, give you your money back or give you a credit, however that works. So I wasn't really freaking out about that, but definitely the medical insurance, whatever medical insurance you have, if it's through your job, through your parents, if you got government insurance, whatever it is, make sure, I would still say get that traveler's insurance coverage, because you don't know what your insurance here at home will cover, and I almost needed the insurance, y'all. I almost needed it. I was on that damn bicycle in Versailles looking for the Queen's Hamlet. I still ain't find that damn Hamlet, but I'm coming back for that Hamlet. I'm gonna find it. I couldn't find it, and I was on the bicycle, and anyways, I made it. I had no business on that damn bicycle. I don't know what I was doing, being adventurous and whatnot, but get that, because you just want to minimize. I will get more into those kind of things, those important things. Nope, that is next on the list. Create a digital itinerary. I created a digital itinerary. I did it on Adobe what though? I was gonna say Adobe Word. I think I just did it in like Acrobat Pro or whatever, but I created an itinerary, and it was for myself and for, I was gonna say, my loved ones, my mom, because she was worried I was gonna get kidnapped or get drunk and fall into the damn river. And it's like, girl, like, you fall over one time when you're drunk, and it's like, speaking of that, I need champagne, hold on. The digital itinerary had everything in it. My flight information, the whole round trip, whatever my layovers were, the time, everything. I had like screenshots from like the actual website, the airline's website, and I typed everything out. Like, I had a very loose itinerary for the time I was in Paris and in Versailles, because I was practicing. I'm a very tightly wound person, like booty hole tight. And I'm practicing loosening the hell up. And I did not want to go to this place that I've always wanted to go and explore and be wound up and type A Asia. I was not, that hurts. I was not trying to do that. I was not trying to be there like that. And so I had a very loose itinerary, but I still put down what I think I wanted to do this day, that day, whatever. Literally, like, I'm only gonna be in the airport. When did I fly out? I left America, no. Yeah, I left America on Thursday, arrived in Paris on Friday. Like, I literally put, like, I'm gonna be on this flight. I arrived at Charles de Gaulle, Friday afternoon. Like, I literally had every little step mapped out. Oh, am I gonna go to the Louvre? The Louvre was not on the list. We'll get to that. But, I had all these things you know, like mapped out, subject to change. So if something happened, my mom can be like, okay, she said she was possibly going here today, and then they can go investigate. I don't know, right? That's why I had that loose itinerary. I had also in this, I had copies of all my government info. My passport, obviously, she always had some kind of copy of your passport. I had my American driver's license because I thought I was going to drive over there. We'll get to that in a second. But I had that. I had my vaccine card. It's like weird because I still say vaccine card and I think of like the 1 year shots that you got when you were in school up until undergrad, because they make you get something so you won't get, what do you get when people share food? I don't share food, so I don't understand why people like to share food, or like you get appetizers and everyone wants to eat, and it's like, I just think that that's like, I just really prefer not to, but you don't want to be like that weirdo that's weird about germs. But I had my COVID vaccination card, and I also have that digital on my iPhone. So mind you, I'm looking, I think those are my neighbors. You think they can hear me? I'm sure these neighbors over here can hear me. Oh, it's very weird. They're like, oh, she's like a YouTuber. What if they think, oh, she might really be on YouTube, and I'm like, 3 subscribers? Yes, make them think I'm like important. But I had everything in there. What else was in there? I probably should have pulled up the itinerary. I don't think I had it synced into my iPad, but I had that on, like, I emailed it. I have like 20 emails. So I emailed it to me a bunch of times. I had the actual file on my phone. That's what I was saying. On iPhones, I'm sure you can do it on Android. You should be able to have your vaccinations. I know you could put it in Apple. You have the health app. All that's in there, and also the wallet, which I don't use otherwise because you gotta lock your phone all up, and it's like, I ain't got no nudes on there, so it don't make sense for me to lock it. It's like food pics, like please, Carisha. But you can have that all in there as well, which is convenient. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's very convenient that you have a phone that works all the way, do all your updates. That's not a tip, but that's like a bonus. Make sure your phone is completely updated before you go, because you don't need no shenanigans over there, child. But I had all that, and I sent it to my mom's email like a million different ways. So if something happens, honestly, it doesn't have to be you got kidnapped. You can just break your ankle because well, not your ankle, you probably would have like popped my collarbone or something on 5, because I was gonna fly off that bike. I'm glad. If I had panicked, I probably would have broke something, but I didn't. I'm so proud of myself for not panicking. Speaking of my mother, set up technology for them. That includes, now I don't really do FaceTime. Do not FaceTime me in real life. Like, I will not answer. That's like so weird and it's invasive. So I immediately feel like, it's like if someone was to walk by right now in my backyard and like see my nipples, it would just be like, oh my God. I don't really like that. So I don't use those things, but I know how to use them. So I had to set up like WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure you're probably up to, up on game with WhatsApp, but I'm not. I don't be on the phone like that with nobody. And I had to set that up with my mom. I had to set up, make sure she knew how to answer text, we'll go back between different apps. I had to set all that up. So do that for your respective family member. If you have parents that are like, babies, do that. Aunts, uncles, grandma, even, because it's one, especially if you're by yourself, and I guess it kind of depends, but you do want to share moments. And there were times, despite the time difference, I would try to share them with my mom in real time. And so yeah, set that up. Preload addresses into your Uber. So that was another thing that was in my itinerary, like the actual addresses to my hotels, I had addresses to the consulate, the U.S. Embassy, all the actual addresses. I had phone numbers for the police because they don't have, it's not 911, I forgot what the number is, but it's like an extra number, which is a lot to an American. But I put all those numbers in there, so if I panicked, I guess I could pull it up or whatever and dial it, and you don't like hear something pops off. If my neighbor smacked his wife, I'm gonna call 911. Like, I'm not gonna call like non-emergency or like a mental health doctor or whatever the hell. Like, it's 911, right? You don't do that there. French people are very much like, hang up and call me back, girl. Like, I'm not. So I had all those things in there. But make sure that you have your pertinent addresses, like your hotel, saved, or even especially your hotel, because I mentioned earlier there's another hotel with a very similar name, and girl, so you want to make sure that's preloaded and saved in Uber. I learned a lot about Uber during my trip. I do not use that here. I drive my own car. I don't do public transit. So yeah, make sure that's all saved in there. So it's just boop, boop. Or if you get drunk or whatever and you know, boop, boop, just go. Very important, saves time, saves worry, especially because things look the same when you don't know what the hell's going on. Speaking of Uber, have an Uber budget, okay? Or whatever transit you intend on taking. Yeah, you need to have a separate budget. And I don't know if people do this. You need to have a budget for your transit from your hotel to the airport, to and from the airport, or even from your house to the airport, or whatever you're doing. In my case, I parked my car at the airport, so have a budget for that. Them mother suckers scammed me, by the way, at Sky Harbor. They charged me, I prepaid. And I think it was because I came back. I don't know. I ain't even disputed because I was so ready to go home. I was like, I'm gonna let y'all slide because I was feeling good from the trip, but I'm gonna let y'all slide on that. They got me for some money. But have that budget, because what if something like that happens and you're not thinking that you need to pay this extra fee, right? So just kind of have that cushion. Just know that most of your money's probably gonna go on things like getting to and from the airport. To get from Charles de Gaulle to the 7 arrondissement, I want to say it was maybe 30 euro, maybe, or was it 20 euro? It was definitely cheaper for me to go from Charles de Gaulle to the 7 arrondissement than it was for me to go from, obviously, from Versailles to Charles de Gaulle. So, but nothing was over 50 euro. I can't remember what it was. I probably should pull up my Uber. But that's a lot of money. That's like 20 croissants. Actually, no, them croissants be like 50 cents. Like, you can buy a lot of stuff with it, food-wise, even with, depending on how you eat. If you like me, then yeah, you can eat a lot. But 50 euro is a lot. So just kind of plan that, or else you're gonna be asked out. And then trying to take a damn bus, and you know, I did not do any public transit. I did not intend on doing public transit, not just because everything is in French and my French is not cute. I don't even know how to say it's not cute, okay? It's like, I don't do public transit here in the States. It's just a lot for me. I don't like not knowing where I'm going. I don't like trying to figure out if I'm in the right place. I don't want to try to figure out the fare. I don't want to touch money or how to do the thing. I don't like pulling out my debit card too much in the first place. Like, that was not something I was considering at all. So why would I do that in a foreign country? Like, negatory. But I did think at one point, and I don't know if this is on, it's not a tip, don't drive in Paris. I was going to attempt to drive there. I was like, okay, and I checked everything out and how the insurance works, you know, auto insurance works there and whatnot. And yeah, I was all for it. I was a little nervous because I figured once I was in Paris, like main Paris, like from the airport, I would be fine driving, kind of thing. I won't get too lost, you know. But I did inquire with my friends on social media, and Olivia, what is her channel called? Is it just Olivia? I don't know what her channel's called. I'm gonna link her because she is a fashion blogger, and she is like, oh my gosh, I love her. But she was like, girl, no, don't you do it, don't you do it, do not do it. And I feel like she's a sane person. And so she said no, because it's crazy there. And I had another one of my wine friends chime in later, and she was like, yeah, but you have to think about parking and being responsible for a car. I don't like doing that, even with my own car. I'm from LA, and if you're from LA, you know parking's horrendous. Or it's very costly. So I was like, yeah, I'm cool on that. So that's where I ultimately decided to just Uber everywhere. But no, the driving is so bad. It's like, LA, Houston, Atlanta, like I don't even know where else traffic's bad. I say Atlanta because I was in a taxi in Atlanta some years back, before the pandemic, and I thought I was gonna meet the king. People were like crossing way over like 20 lanes to get off the freeway, barely missing the. Oh yeah, no. So Paris is worse. I would say, oh, people in Paris can't drive. No, they can drive because people were literally. It was, or you know how you see videos like people driving in like Calcutta and there's no lanes, people just going for it, or like in what was that one video in Vietnam and the people were trying to cross the street. It's like that. People were just out there and they don't give a damn. My ass would have had to turn that car around and take it back to Charles de Gaulle. So I am glad that I did not drive, because that would have been it. I would have wrecked the little car. All the cars are these cute little electric cars. Girl, don't do it. So make your budget for your transit. Yeah, I was gonna ride a scooter at one point. I am so glad I didn't do that. I still don't think I'd do that. I would have been smushed. I would have just been smushed. My next tip is have a credit card for your hotel. Now this is interesting because maybe you don't have credit cards because you're just being fiscally responsible or whatever, right? I don't care if you have to get your granny's credit card and you have the money for it, you save the money for it, but use a credit card or a separate debit card, like a separate account with the money for your hotel. This is why you should use a credit card, because they might decline it, right? If your hotel was $500 and all you have is $510 on there, it's gonna jack you up because they're gonna put a hold on your card. That's why. Okay, maybe my camera was overheated. I don't know where it cut me off, but I'm gonna just say, if you can obtain a credit card, either your own credit card that has a decent limit, doesn't have to have a high limit, you don't have to use it for the trip if you want to pay for everything cash, or if you need to get a close relative or friend, I don't know, right? Get their credit card, because these hotels will put holds on your cards and you don't want it messing with your money, or you think you have this money and the hold's really for this amount. You just don't want that. You just want to keep that separate. So that is like a huge tip for me. I just like to keep things separate, regardless if you have a lot of money or don't have a lot of money. Unless you have, a credit card with a super high limit, you just don't, even then, you just don't want the drama, especially while you're traveling abroad, okay? I don't know if this is on here, but it's something you should do anyway. Inform your credit card, credit card provider, the credit card company, your bank. Hey, I'm traveling abroad. I always let them know, you can be, even when you're traveling domestically, right? You could be flying to San Francisco, but maybe the airlines, when you buy Wi-Fi on the plane, for instance, I know like Southwest comes the charges from Dallas. So just let them know I'm be here, and I'm flying here. I don't want no shenanigans, okay? Not to promote anyone, but Capital One is really good about that. I believe you don't even have to inform them, because when I was calling for something else, and they were like, the only thing with them, you do kind of have to let them know, because if it's charges outside of your norm, they will maybe freeze it because they think, for instance, when I bought my tickets for Fête Gallant, it was in the middle of the night and it was for quite a bit, and they're just like, you don't use this card like ever, and it was a debit card, it wasn't even a credit card, and they were like, girl, what you buying? That kind of thing. So it was this activity that was totally out of my norm. It wasn't just that it was in France. It was, you're probably hacked, and it's like, no, it's me being obsessed and buying a very expensive ticket, and I didn't even have the top tier ticket. I just wanted to be there. I just didn't want to be like with the commoners. Buy a door stopper. I said for this video I was gonna find it and show it to you. Maybe I will take a picture of it or get it. I got it on Amazon and just like sit the picture in here somewhere. Get one of those. It just gives you a peace of mind in your hotel room. But what it is, and actually I don't want to get it anyways because I don't like to make alarms go off unnecessarily, but if the door opens, it's loud. It will through, you know. And so if you're asleep and someone busts into your room, be it that they don't do no Airbnb, I'm sorry, I just never, that was never my vibe. I think Airbnb is cool if you go and you get like a villa and it's like, you know, 15, 20 of you and your friends, and you just want, like, I mean, not to be like cliche, but a villa in Bali or somewhere tropical, right? And you just want a place where you guys can like dry your bathing suits out in peace kind of thing. I just don't, you know, or summer house, something like that. I just don't really believe in Airbnbs. I'm sorry, I just never. And then you hear the stories and I'm like, yep, y'all thought I was crazy. At least with the hotel, if something happens, you can sue the hell out of the Hilton. You get to meet Paris Hilton if something happens to you. You doing these Airbnbs, they be like, I don't know, well, it ain't our fault they was racist and they had you running down the street in the middle of the night with pitchforks. Like, they don't give a damn about you. They will leave you for dead. I need somebody that I can sue. Having that little door stopper, it just gives you peace of mind. Take the battery out, whatever battery. Mine had a 9-volt battery. Child, take that out, because if it's in your bags and it goes off for whatever reason, yeah, you don't want to. And I believe I stuck it in my checked bag. Oh, okay, I know where it's at, I think, if I didn't move it since coming home. It's just something you should have as a single girl. I guess a single guy too. I don't know what men folk do. I don't know. Speaking of packing, pack simple outfits. It's Paris. Now, if you just like to stunt and you're somebody that stunts, then do you, boo. But for me, I like to dress up, but I didn't go to Paris to stunt. Now, if you go and you know you want to do like a photo shoot, you have a photographer, or I did take my tripod. I did not use my tripod, and we'll get into that. If you know you're gonna go take your photos, by all means. But for me, I just was not there for that. I was there for literally the culture, the architecture. I wasn't really there for the food, but I was just there. Like, I was just absorbing everything. So I didn't go with that in mind. And with that being said, yeah, I want to look cute, but I didn't need all those outfits. So I planned my outfits so I wouldn't end up having to pack a lot of clothing. So just things you can change out. I'm a very basic person, so most of my clothing is black, and if it's not black, it's a neutral color. I think my pop of color is blue. That's my color, blue. Maybe I'll have some pinks. I'm not big on pink, but yeah, so I'm very basic, right? So basic shoes. I did take like I took a black stiletto, a black mid-size heel. I had like little sneakers, anything outside of my costume, because that's where my big checked bag was. Primarily my costumes. I had the pannier and my stays and everything, and the dress. I literally had to pack my dress down in those little shrink wraps that you put comforters in. Like, it was a thing. So my modern clothes, I didn't really have a ton of room for that. I couldn't be sitting up here doing no outfit changes. So just like mixing and matching. My black blazer, baby, that thing came through. I don't know if that's a tip on here, but dress in layers. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I had maybe, like different tank tops, and then I had my cardigan that I wore under a blazer because I thought I could just go out with the cardigan, and I was cold. I don't know what it is. Maybe because I ain't got no meat on my bones. I just need it to be warm. It wasn't cold there, but it's just, it's like California weather. You have to dress in layers. So a lot of interchangeable clothing. The funniest thing is I didn't wear any of my heels anywhere. Even when I went out to dinner, I ended up wearing my cute little sneakers. Literally, I didn't even wear them. I wore them with my costume because by the time it came to Versailles, and I went to Versailles just for my own edification the day before the event, and it's a lot of walking, but it's not so much that, it's cobblestones. Cobblestones are every damn where, and it's not very smart to be teetering around in any type of heel, even if it's your most comfortable heel. And you also have on, in my case, I had on actual stays, not a corset where you're like, everything's sucked in, but you're still a little stuffed sausage, okay? You're like the little Smokies. That's what I was. And there was a lot of women at the actual event that their feet were toe up. The stays had them about to die. Like, there was some drama there. So I'm kind of glad I did wear my sneakers because my feet were not an issue. But nothing's even in France. Nothing there was even. So if you're clumsy, you probably need to stay your ass in some sneakers. I wouldn't even wear like any slides or anything. I saw a lot of Well, I didn't see a lot of Americans, and when I don't even want to get into it because that's a whole nother video. You can tell who's American. You can tell, yeah, you can, and it wasn't a lot of, there were black people there, but there weren't a lot of American. I don't think I saw anyone that was African American, and you know, because you hear them, I was like the only one there by myself, like a weirdo. You hear people talking, they weren't American. So it was like not that many Americans, but a lot of the girls wore slides, and I'm like, girl, I know your feet gonna be ate up. And I did a lot of walking. I forgot how much walking I did the entire trip. So just be mindful of that with your shoes. But I thought I would change for dinner. I was gonna go here for dinner, and I ended up going places for dinner, but it's really casual. Parisians do dress nice. They dress like fashion, but not like super like editorial, but just really like chic. They just, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, you know, but very chic, but simple. You saw some of the girls, young girls, when they were going out, and it's not the way American girls go out to the club, but you can tell those girls were going out to be hussy cats, and yeah, it's just different. So you don't really need your clothes unless you intend on taking photos. A lot of stuff was like, okay, let me change out of this, and then I'll go to dinner, and I can put this blazer on, dress like that, and yeah, I probably should bring, I think I'm gonna do like cutaways, and you can see the things that I packed, but all my modern clothes went in. I bought the little cubes or cubbies that you can pack everything in and then pack your suitcase really neatly. And I always do the egg rolls, I call them, and roll everything up in egg rolls. So I did the egg rolls and put them in there. And yeah, you don't need to have a lot of clothes. Don't waste your luggage on clothes. Oh, I don't know how to open an iPad. Hold on. What's the next tip? Wear a crossbody. This is for, well, it's for boys too, because boys wear purses. Yeah, I know some people wear backpacks. I don't really recommend a backpack unless you have another human being you have to take care of vis-a-vis your infant or your child. And I don't know nothing about that, so go find a mommy blogger. I don't know nothing about that life. I don't like being responsible for anybody else. Like if my mom's with me, like I'm responsible for her, and it's like I have to be like, did you potty? Do you have to potty? You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? Because you just had a glass of water. Are you sure? I love my mom. She's probably the only person that's watching this video. I love you, buns. You really don't, I wouldn't really feel comfortable with the backpack. I would always think maybe I got jacked and didn't know. I'm just too paranoid for that in general, like even here in the States. Yeah, wear your crossbody, something you can take stuff in and out, kind of get your money situation together. Just make it really simple. Keep the purse like in front of you, in front of your poom packet, like boom, right there. My crossbody had a flap. I took 2 handbags with me. One had a flap, and then the other one, I'm gonna have to do all kind of cutaways. You can get into, so if somebody wanted to jack me, they could, but that thing's so damn tight. If you can jack me out of that damn purse, it's a Ontagona, right? If you can get in that and I don't know, then you need to jack me, because I can't get in and out of that one. That's one of the reasons why I didn't end up wearing it at all while I was in France, but I did take it with me. Next tip, wear a mask. You should wear a mask anyway, but let me tell you, let's say you don't give a damn about COVID, you on the YOLO, or people that are like, they're like, you can't live your life unfair. Okay, girl, but it's still germs, and that's still, if you see me with a mask here in the States, somewhere, even if it's kind of outdoors, there's still germs. People are nasty as hell. I don't know everybody's mannerisms. Americans are dirty, so I can't trust that you people from y'all other countries ain't nasty either, okay? And there were times where I was outdoors, but people, like, you can hear stuff going, and I'm like, oh, baby, no, it ain't even attempting to cover or nothing. No, ma'am, spam. So have you a mask, kind of keep one on you in your little crossbody, and you could pop that joker out. I don't care if it's at the bottom of your purse and you gotta get all the little crumbs off of it and put it on, just something, because ew. I did wear N95. I wore one of the official masks. I wore that on the plane the whole time, because in the past you travel and you get the little sniffles or little tingle because you're on this, you know, flying tin can with everybody's germs being recycled. I'm not about that life. So wear your mask. Don't be funny about it. I'm glad, like, whew, I'm glad I didn't catch nothing, like COVID or nobody else, because sometimes you end up, all of a sudden you're in close proximity or close quarters with people, especially when I went through Tour d'Eiffel. That was like, people was all up on you and people was coughing. Somebody touched my booty, but I don't think they meant it like that. It'd been nice if they did, but they didn't. It's cool, whatever. I mean, you know, I ain't got much of a booty, but damn, you know, that'd been cool. But it was tight, and I'm glad I had my mask. I pulled that out and put that on quick. Make sure you have, oh, let me go back. Let me pause. Do I have enough time before I think my camera's gonna go out? Child, let me tell you. So, okay, France opens their borders. All these other countries are more strict than America. Okay, bam. So I'm up here just focused on being able to get into France. I got my vaccine. I ain't got the COVID. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I got everything. Like, let me in, okay? I'm coming. And I didn't even think about requirements to get back home, because here in America, they had like Lollapalooza. They even had the Coachellas. Everybody been at these house parties. Y'all been wild and ratchet for the last 2.5, 3 years. So I'm thinking like, America don't give a damn if another American come back. That's how we got the shit in the first damn place. Like, anyway, I just wasn't thinking nothing about America being strict or having any limitations. And I'm walking, I was on Champs-Élysées, and I saw some people lined up like outside on the sidewalk getting COVID tests. And I was like, and I believe these people were Indian. And so I was like, oh, maybe India, you know, India don't play. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, they was beating people's ass for the curfew, like, get your ass in the house. So I'm thinking, okay, like, India still don't play that. They got to get a COVID test. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just walking along. And then I was like, oh, shit, what if I need a test to get back into America? Like, oh, shit. Now, mind you, at this point, going back to Facebook groups, I'm not really on Facebook, but I found other costumers, because I don't really have a lot of costumer friends here in the States or like locally. A lot of them tend to just be in different states. And so I don't know anyone that gives a damn about costume design or even historical films. Like, I don't know anyone here in my town that's like, yeah, I watched Bridgerton and like, oh my God, and then this and this wasn't historically accurate. Like, I don't have that, right? So I'm like, shit, like there's a lot of people going to this event. It'd be cool if I like knew someone, like, you know, 'cause I'm shy. And I found the Facebook group of Americans, and there was other people, other nationalities that were going. And so I ran across the group, joined the group. Anyways, the group was having a meetup the day before the event. And it was perfect because that was the day that I was going to be checking into my Versailles hotel. Anyways, met up with them. And it was at this really cute bar called No Water. I don't even know if I should say that because I don't know if they want y'all flooding it. Y'all ain't gonna flood it, but it was a really cute bar. And I'm glad I didn't fall down them damn stairs, because I ended up getting, conversation was really good. Ended up buying, after like 2 or 3 glasses of wine, I bought a bottle of wine, and I believe I finished that. But anyways, because we're drinking, we're sitting up on each other, and so the COVID would have been up in there. So here I am like, fuck, I gotta get this test. I done been sitting up on these people, and I'm already on a YOLO. At that point, I'm like, yeah, I hope I don't get it, but it's like, you know, if I got it, like, whatever, like, because I already did my bucket list. So I'm just like, whatever else happens, Lord, it's cool. This is Gucci. I didn't see what I came to see. So I was just kind of on that vibe and not being like scary Asia, right? And then I had to get that damn test, and I was like, bitch, what? Oh my God. And I was freaking out because I couldn't get in contact with anyone here in America to figure out, do I actually need a test? Unequivocally, yes, you need a test. Like, I couldn't get a definitive answer from American Airlines that I flew. I got fluked out on. They couldn't, every time I tried to call American Airlines customer service, they direct me to somebody that was French. We'll get into that with the phones. So I was like, God damn. I just was like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And everything in France be closed. They don't play that. They don't have no CVS pharmacy. So I knew going back, I thought before they lifted some of France's restrictions, I thought I was going to, they have like apps to do contact tracing. I already downloaded the app. I didn't need it this time, right? But I thought I was gonna have to get a COVID test when I got to France so I can get clear, oh, she doesn't have COVID, so if you get COVID, if you test positive at any point, you must have got it here, contact tracing, right? So because I didn't need that anymore, I didn't know where any of the pharmacies were at in any proximity. So I'm in Versailles, and I'm like, girl, in Versailles is, I can't think of a town that it's equivalent to right now because I'm trying to go because my camera might come cut off, but it's a small town. So I'm like, they ain't got no CVS. They don't have that. And their pharmacies be closed. They don't open early. They don't, none of that shit. So I'm up here like, I got to get a test. And I needed to get a test 24 hours. Or no, it's not even 24 hours. It's like the calendar day before your flight going back home. So I'm trying to get up here and find a damn, you know, pharmacy. Found one. It was under 20 euros. I want to say it was like 16 or 17, maybe 18 euros. Okay, so boom, found the pharmacy. Okay, and I wanted to be there like first thing in the morning. Mind you, this is the day of the event, the reason why I was even in Paris, right? Or in Versailles, right? Okay, so it's the morning of, and I'm just like, I gotta find a place to take this test. And taking COVID tests, it's like taking a pregnancy test and you ain't trying to have no damn baby. It's like, oh my God, oh my God. But if you have it, it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine, right? Everything's fine. So I'm freaking out because what if I got the shit? I can't go to this event and be around people. But I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, I can't get home. Because what happens when you have it? Does that mean I have to stay in the country longer? That was why I wanted to talk to someone at American Airlines. What happens? Because I had contradicting information. Like if you have it, you have to let us know, as if they're gonna let you on board, and obviously you mask up, and then you have to like follow up when you get back home and isolate, Like I had that information. Then I saw somewhere else on the French side that was like, no, if you got that shit, you can't get on the plane. So I was really worried about not getting home and would I need to stay in a hotel longer and be isolated, and then for how long? Because my understanding is if you have it, like you can recover or you can be asymptomatic and be cool, but it's in your system. It's not like you wait a few days and it's out of your system. You still gonna test positive. So I was like, oh, cheese and crackers, I done fucked up big time. I really did. And so I was stressed, I was pressed. I paid my 16, 18 euro. The girl tells me she don't speak no damn English. I don't hardly speak English as it is. So you know I ain't speaking French. She telling me to go outside and go around the corner. And I'm trying to, these are instructions like in French, to go outside and go around the corner. I gathered that much to go, like I had to pay for the COVID test inside the pharmacy. Side note, their pharmacies are nice. And this is just in Versailles. This is not like, their creme de la creme kind of thing. It was just nice what they had in there. And I watched how they talked to other customers, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it was nice. They had all kind of good products. It's not like CVS or Walgreens, it was cute. But anyway, I'm like, go outside and go around the corner. So I'm thinking like, maybe I go outside and go into like another entrance to that pharmacy. So no big deal, but I go outside and like my immediate left is a goddamn alley. I ain't going down no alley. We talked about this. I'm trying not to get kidnapped. I don't go down alleys. We don't do that where I'm from. I don't know what y'all do here in France. I plan on moving there, but I ain't trying to do that. You trying to get me got? Just say you don't want me in your country and make me leave. Don't get me got to go down the damn alley. Girl, what? So I'm looking at that. I looked at that damn alley. I was like, that ain't what she meant. That can't be what she meant. French is not good. So I'm like, nah, that ain't what the hell she meant. So I go back inside. I have to wait because now at this point, people are coming and getting their prescriptions and stuff. And so another pharmacist was there and she understood my English better, but she was like, let me show you. So she comes, whatever, finished what she was doing, and she walks and she shows me, she's like, yeah, go down the alley. I'm like, bitch, you trying to get me fucked up. I'm gonna get got. I ain't got but like 20 euros on me. Don't play with me. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. So she's like, no, it's cool. So I go down the alley and it opens up into this beautiful courtyard. And there's this tent where you go and take your COVID test. And I was like, oh, molded. So the guy was so cute. He was young though. He would have been young for me, but he was cute. Let's back it up. I wasn't there for no man. I wasn't trying to, trying to hunch nobody. I wasn't on no eat, pray, love. I was not there for that, right? French men are freaking hot. They were like my type, okay? My type. And it was just like, damn, I'm out here in my basic ass outfits. But again, French people don't put their boobies out. They don't do all this when they're trying to catch that. You just have to have a je ne sais quoi and just be cool or whatever and smoke a cigarette. I don't know how they say, I guess they would say cigarette. That's a French word, right? And let me tell you, they smoke there, honey. They smoke. And there was a lot of people vaping, but they be smoking their cigarettes. They do not give a damn. Because I was just like, oh wow, you guys still do that. Mind you, I'm like originally from California, so like the mentality is like you don't smoke and you have to be considerate of other people and the environment. You know, it's just like not a thing, and I never smoked, so it's like weird seeing people just smoking like chimneys and shit. And them French people don't give a damn. They will blow that smoke in your face. Say something if you want to. Don't get dropped on Champs-Élysées. Don't start acting weird, right? But no, like it was just, you know, the guy was cute at the COVID test, but he was really sweet and he spoke really great English, which was great because I was nervous. I'm getting this COVID test. I'm like, I might got the heebie-jeebies, y'all. And so I'm sitting there and he swabbed me up and he doing his stuff. And ooh, when he did it, I've had a COVID test here in America and they just like, you know, it was cool. I was like, oh, that's it, girl. Like, everybody complain about nothing. No, when he did it, he went up past my eyeball. He had to. That was not a cool feeling, but he got up in there, got both my nostrils. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's cute and he going up my nose. What if I'm very good about cleaning out boogies, but like, what if I had a boogie? It was just like so embarrassing. So he does, and he's like, yeah, I don't think you have COVID. I don't think you have the COVID. I was like, how you know? You just swabbed my nose. He was like, because it's negative. And I was like, oh. And I was gonna like question, like, are you sure? I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. Bonjour. So I took my ass back to my hotel, and actually, no, I didn't go back to my hotel. I actually ended up getting my breakfast, and I had breakfast at Versailles. But I was glad that I could go home. I was, you know, that was cool, whatever. So wear a damn mask as much as possible. I think if I was, I mean, you end up kind of, there's still situations where you're not gonna have your mask on because when you go to eat, the bistros, everybody's like up on each other. So you can't really escape that. For those of you that are like, nah, I'm gonna wear a mask, I don't care. It really, you're gonna be out there. So more so than in the States, I guess. Like you go to Chili's and you're sitting like a decent distance apart, but in France you'd be all up on strangers. That part's really weird. If you're like me and you're shy, it's just very close. Have American cash when you get whatever cash you want to spend, physical cash you want to spend while you're in France. Either take it out and travel, unless you're talking thousands of dollars. I'm not a cash person in general, but have either that in American dollars when you get to France, so you could just go and get an exchange line and exchange it, or make sure your bank your bank is international friendly. And I mentioned Capital One. I'm not sponsored by Capital One, but the exchange rate, they don't gouge you like other banks do. So that's why I chose to use that for my debit card to withdraw cash. And so I put in my American debit card and I got euros out of the teller machine, the exchange machine. And I did that right in the airport. And I only took out 100 US dollars. I don't know what that ended up being in euros, because some coins came out, and some of their coins are, like the euro coin, they have a 2 euro, like I'm gonna say a $2 coin, a euro coin, and it's like the size of a quarter. So I got some of that. So I don't know what the breakdown was. I was very like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm telling you, little things like freak me out. So I had that and I didn't spend all of that. That's another thing, you don't really tip there, so I didn't really need a lot of cash. Everybody I tried to tip, they didn't want it. They looked at me like I was trash. Because they, you know, I don't know what their pay is, but you go to Chili's or Applebee's and you can get you a 2 for $20 and you can leave a $10 bill and they look at you like, oh, okay, I see you, bitch. I should spat in your food. Like, you get guilted very much so here in the States. And there, you try to leave them, you definitely couldn't leave them 10 euros. They will be insulted. Like, you trying to say I'm a broke bitch? Is that what you're trying to say? What? Oh, you stupid American. Like, no. So I didn't end up spending cash. Every time I tried to tip, nobody didn't want no money. So I think out of the 150 American dollars I exchanged, I have maybe right under 100 euros. Like, I still have them. So But just have it just in case maybe you want to pay for more things in cash, or, you know, a cash person. I'm not. I don't like touching money and stuff because of the germs, and then you touch your eye and then you're wondering why your eye's inflamed, and you don't know if it's because maybe you do have pink eye, but did you get the pink eye because you touch money, or because you, like, maybe you have the COVID and it's a symptom of COVID. Like, see what I'm saying? That's why you just use your debit card, you go boop, and you don't have to touch nobody, and you put it back in your crossbody and keep it pushing, okay? Going back to phones, I got a SIM card. And I think it's called an orange card. I'll leave that for sure. I want you to have exactly what I had, and you sign up for that and you pay for that. Do not use your American ass phone and call your mama on your American ass phone. That's what WhatsApp's for, because them mofos, whatever your carrier is, they're gonna get your ass. And if it's Verizon or something, they probably will take your firstborn. Now, let me tell you what I end up doing. I physically have two phones. This is my phone, and it's a live phone. You see, it's an older iPhone. So this is what I've been talking on, right? This phone came out, okay? I call it the stovetop phone, because this is like, you finna cook some grits and some greens. You finna get all your dinner popping, Thanksgiving meal, right? But when this phone came out, I was like, I knew this one's gonna phase out, so I need a new phone. And so I bought this phone, but I didn't realize I needed to take the SIM card out of this one and put it in this one, so I never did. And I'm very slow to change this phone still. It's funny because it was acting up. You know how Apple do, they start acting up on you to force you to buy the new stuff. So this one started acting right once I got this one. And so anyways, I have two phones, and I tend to use this one because it is connected to Wi-Fi, or I will link up to this phone and if I'm out and about. And so my Instagram, Asia.Alexander, is actually on this phone. There's some other apps. And this thing, I don't really have memory on here. If I need to take photos, I take it with this phone, video especially on this phone. So I have both these phones with me, right? So because this one has my American ass SIM card in it, I got an eSIM card. I thought I was gonna have to get a physical one. I don't know how to do that. I never really did like prepaid phones and stuff like that, right? And so I was like kind of nervous about how to get the damn SIM card in there, but I ended up getting an eSIM card. I will leave information for that because that was a thing. I was a little stressed. But I got an eSIM card through, I think it's just called Orange Phone or something like that. And if I needed to make a phone call, I could, but I still used WhatsApp. But that gave me data, so I pretty much was functioning from this phone in terms of uploading to Instagram if I was talking to you guys on Instagram. And then this one kind of just stayed in my crossbody. But this is what I use for the most part. And again, because I'm taking photos and the video and da-da-da-da, like that whole thing. So, if you're not crazy and you only have one phone, or not no old phone, but you got this phone, yeah, just go ahead and get that SIM card. Now, going to social media, and I believe this is my last point, is you post on social media with caution. The notion is don't, and this is here when you're at home, right? Don't post that you're at, at Chili's. Why would you just, Chili's need to sponsor me. I've been mentioning them. Y'all probably gonna go out and get you an Awesome Blossom. Was it them that did Awesome Blossom, or was that Outback Steakhouse? Get you an Awesome Blossom. They're probably nasty now. I don't think I've ever had one. I think the commercials just made it look good back in like the 90s. You don't want to post, that you're like here at whatever place because somebody will kidnap you, or they realize you're not at home and then break into your house, all these things, right? So you do that with caution. But I didn't post exactly where I was, and sometimes I would just record the video and then upload it maybe when I left the place, but I could have left it like 5 minutes ago kind of thing, or I wasn't really even being cautious and timing it. Let me tell you why. I'm okay with that. Because I was in another country. I don't post like that here at home. Usually I'm very, at home. But if you tap in some kind of way and you're a creeper, you was gonna get me any damn way. You was already like, I'm about to get me a tourist. Oh, she's by herself. Like, I was already a mark, right? That's how I feel about that. But I feel like if something does happen to me, y'all will be like, hey, Asia ain't, especially the way I was posting on Instagram. Asia ain't posted nothing since she left, when I was still in power from the Apple store. We ain't gonna talk about that. Found out I wasn't stealing after all. I'm glad, because I could have went to jail. But you would be like, hey, she ain't never posted nothing after the Apple store. Y'all would know she went and took her ass to the Apple store on Champs-Élysées And we ain't heard from her since then. And my mom can be like, well, you know, whatever. She would be so lost. That's why I did that digital itinerary, so she wouldn't be lost if something did happen. But yeah, I'd rather it be like, you know, this breadcrumb of a trail for Detective Benson and Stabler to come find me if something happened to me, versus I didn't post nothing because I'm being all cautious, and all y'all know is that, well, she did, you know, message me when she landed, because you know when you off the plane, you immediately come out of airplane mode and you start texting people and shit, right? Like, that's the last time you heard from me because I'm being cautious. No, I'd rather you be like, no, she was right here and then she posted here and then that was the man in the background, so we gonna find him or whatever. Or have you seen this girl, you, especially being black, you seen this black ass girl? No. So for me, I felt more comfortable telling everyone everything, and I didn't do it on purpose, but I just felt more comfortable because I knew somebody knew where the hell I was, versus you not knowing anything or not hearing from me for hours on end. And let me tell you, it, like the day that I went, I was on Champs-Élysées, for instance, before I stole Apple Power. I literally went from the 7th arrondissement, and I believe the Louvre is in the first, are they in the first arrondissement? But I went to the Louvre, got dropped off on the corner like a prostitute, could have got snatched right there, but you wouldn't have knew nothing. And I literally like I walked from there all the way, you know, so it was like a lot could have happened to me, but if I didn't post nothing, you wouldn't have knew. No, she was fine. Her phone went dead, but she did go to the Apple store. Oh, she didn't come out the Apple store. You checked the Apple security, and no, she walked out of there fine, and then she went to this bistro or whatever. Like, I felt more confident that I could be found. And that's another thing too. Side note, for those of you that might maybe notice, I had on my ugly Apple Watch. I don't have it on now. I have on a regular watch. I do own a regular watch. I keep that thing on even here in the States because if something happens, it has GPS on it. And even if the murderers are aware, the sex traffickers are aware of that, because you're like, don't tell them. They know. They're very sophisticated. Criminals are sophisticated. They probably could have been, you know, surgeons, but they went into the life of crime because it's a faster track, okay? And more money probably. But if you take my watch and say, yeah, bitch, get in the van, you can find my watch wherever and come find, like, that gives you something, versus you ain't seen or heard from me since Charles de Gaulle, me landing and being like, oh my God, I made it because the flight was so long and they only had cheap wine, because that's what I was talking about when I landed. That's how I feel about that personally. So do you with that. And maybe you just only want to share with your family members or the close friends on your social media, or however you want to do it, do you. But that's what I did. I think those are all my tips. Oh no, I did have, oh, don't knock that over. Where am I? Oh, I think I have a few things since, let me squeeze this in. And I'm sorry this video is so long. I'm not even gonna sit here and try to be like, I'm gonna break it up. I might have to break it up because, you know, YouTube takes forever to upload. But I have things I do differently my next trip to France. I already mentioned TSA pre-check, clear, and all those guys. Yeah, make sure I have that next time I travel, period. Pack accordingly. So I told you my checked bag, and then I ended up smuggling back some wine. Nope, we're not gonna use that word. Anyways, I brought wine back because I had my historical costume on me. Now knowing how I can pack coming back, yeah, I would just take that big ass piece of luggage, not have my costume in that, and then, yeah, anyways, I would be able to pack more so I can bring back more stuff, because I bought a lot of stuff while I was there too. I didn't really eat a ton there. I ate, right? I ate for sustenance and kind of like little mini experiences, but I wish I ate more pastries. I went to Angelina and I went to La Delie, but I didn't really like eat at some of these places. So I would, you know, do that next time. I would drink more wine. I didn't go with wine on my mind. And this was more like, I don't want to drink. I don't really know where I'm going. I'm kind of on a go. I don't need to drink like that. I'm not like, oh my God, I just need a drink. So as much as I love wine, I just was not worried about it like that. Next time I go, I'm so mad because some of my wine friends were there and I couldn't meet because of logistics, and it was just like, damn, like those are my friends. Those are my people. But I definitely would drink more wine. And I also would spend more time in the gardens. I went to, I'm totally butchering that. I wanted to go to the Garden of Luxembourg. I wanted to like go, but it's like, I was so like, I want to see shit. I want to go over here. What's this? What's that? I was just like so damn happy that I went through the park, but I mean like actually like spending an afternoon and hanging out. I need to do stuff like that anyway. I want to see more museums. I thoroughly enjoyed, I would get a museum pass, especially once I do go to live there. I'm going to have a museum pass. It was just seeing everything that you see in your freaking phone. And this is how Versailles was. Everything you see in your phone, or for me, been looking at in books since I was, you know, in elementary school, and just seeing it with your own two eyes. It was just, you don't want to rush through that. I don't know. No, I have that as a little bullet point. I would get, just whatever you do, get private tours, spend the extra money, because there's just like so many people. And when I went to everything, it wasn't really all that crowded, but I think I would have had a better time. I didn't have a bad time, but I think I would have got more out of it that I want. I love art, right? So that's a big deal. If you're not really, you know, you just kind of want to go say you went, then it's not, you don't have to do all that. It wasn't that bad. But I am someone that just, you know, I'm looking at different things and you know, how they made their paints back then. So you're looking at like, okay, wow, they were able to get that color. And mind you, all this stuff has been restored. They have like people that go to school to become professional historical I don't know what you call that. They restore things. So I'm just very fascinated with that. So I would definitely spend more time doing that. So even then, I think it's like, yeah, I would spend more time like eating pastries, but I probably would rather spend more time in the museums and in the gardens and just hanging out. So that's it. That's all. I hope I didn't leave anything pertinent out, but if I did, go ahead and ask in the comments. I don't mind answering questions. I'm sorry this was long. I didn't think it was going to be long. I thought I was going to zip through it, but it was so much. It was a great trip. It was worth the money. Well, if money's an issue, I don't care if you got to eat ramen, if you got to like save pennies, like wherever you want to go. It doesn't have to be France. Like, do it. Don't let money stop you. Don't let that you have to be by yourself stop you. I am a hashtag forever alone person, so but I'm still nervous about doing things alone because I'm shy. So I'm not gonna talk to people, and I'm not, you know, and in French people in particular, just kind of they were friendly. I didn't feel like anybody was rude, but maybe I'm kind of a cunt, so I don't know. But I did not feel like that at all. There were a couple people that said little things, but it did not rub me really the wrong way. But don't let those things stop you wherever you want to go. I don't care where I don't care if it's here in the States. Don't let that stop you, because once you go, you're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I spent the money. Every penny I spent for that trip was worth it. I'd do it again. I'm going to do it again. Everybody else can kiss my ass. That's how I feel about it. I came back with a whole nother perspective. So I want that for you. So do that. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. My name is Asia, like the continent. And follow me on Instagram at asia.alexander. And I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch as far as scripted, scroll past to this point. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do that. It's fine. I don't care. I don't care. It's going to be viral anyways, because this was like my favorite subject, more so than wine. All right. Talk to you guys later. Whew. I can drink my wine now. Bye.